Ladies and gentlemen, for 40 years, the Painting and Decorating Foundation, along with the Wall and Ceiling Industry Advancement Fund, has been promoting the concept of fellowship within our segment of the construction industry with its annual banquet. The Finishing Touch Awards were designed to expand and enhance that fellowship and esprit de corps by recognizing the proud achievements of our contractor members and their workforce. That tradition continues tonight as we reveal the winners of the 2018 Finishing Touch Awards. Submissions were judged by a select panel of industry leaders, led by Randy Fries, former CEO of Simon Painting, Charles Bell, Principal, Charles Bell Architects, Tom Finan, Executive Director of the St. Louis Construction Industry Forum, John Buchholz, Apprentice Coordinator for Painters District Council 58, Dr. John Gall, Director of Workforce Development for the Carpenters District Council of St. Louis and Kansas City, and Ron Tierney, Director of Training for the Carpenters District Council of St. Louis and Kansas City. The judges scrutinized the entries based on the level of difficulty, attention to detail, and execution of the craftwork involved. We now proudly present the winning entries in the 2018 Finishing Touch Awards. Our first category this evening is commercial drywall framing, and TJ Weiss garners first place for its exceptional achievement at the Jefferson National Expansion Memorial Museum at the Gateway Arch. This daunting undertaking demanded skill and precision because of several unusual conditions and the massive scope of the project. In addition to the abundance of curved soffits and fascias, TJ's carpenters were tasked with providing precision installation on multiple freestanding display partitions that featured recessed base lighting. Stud selection was critical in order to carry the weight of various thicknesses and types of gypsum board used throughout the project. Work inside the museum commenced in mid-2015 and was substantially wrapped up earlier this year. It encompassed over 109,000 square feet and took over 28,000 man-hours to complete. The Museum of Westwood Expansion and Visitor Center, under the Gateway Arch, is the centerpiece of the Department of Interior's $380 million renovation and redesign of the Gateway Arch National Park. Outstanding work by TJ Weiss. Our second place winner in commercial drywall framing is also TJ Weiss for its exemplary execution at Rankin Jordan Bridge Hospital in Maryland Heights. Rankin Jordan cares for children with complex pediatric medical needs, and TJ was tasked with constructing the exterior framing on this expansion project, along with the interior framing of walls, ceilings, and all decorative drywall effects, including tons of radius soffits. The expansion doubles the size of the hospital and features nurses' stations, a new pharmacy, patient rooms, clinical and therapy rooms, meeting rooms, and a wellness center. The project spanned more than 7 months and now takes its place among TJ Weiss's special accomplishments. Well done indeed, TJ Weiss. Let's look at commercial wall covering now, where Joseph Ward Painting nabs an honorable mention for its performance at the Cambridge Innovation Center and Microsoft Technology Innovation Center at Cortex in the city's central corridor. Joseph Ward was tasked with installing 12 different murals and wall coverings in various locations within the Innovation Center, which is Cortex's largest provider of shared and private office space. Very nice execution by Joseph Ward Painting. Our winner in the interior residential painting category goes to John Bender Incorporated for its nearly flawless painting exhibition at the Thornhill residence in West St. Louis County. Bender's painters meticulously prepped and primed each surface to be finished, including premium flat for the walls and ceilings, two-tone brushing for the columns, and stain matching for all handrails, balusters, and stair treads. Guided by the owner's inspirations found on Pinterest and Houzz websites, Bender's crew produced a color palette that was exactly what was ordered. Using brush, roller, and airless techniques, the Thornhill residence is an example of professional execution at its finest, the result being a completely satisfied customer. And that's what it's all about. Congratulations, John Bender. Exterior commercial painting takes center stage now, and the spotlight falls on our winner, Thomas Industrial Coatings, for its decorative treatments on this phase of the Great Rivers Greenway project. Thomas's work consisted of painting 3 bridges, one at Lansdowne, another at Chippewa, and the third at Interstate 44 on the River des Peres section of the Greenway. This project called for prepping and coating about 12,000 square feet of concrete in a 4-step process, ending with an anti-graffiti coating. The coatings not only protect the concrete substrate, but also serve as a base coat for the application of the 28 different graphic stencils that decorate the project. Lettering on the bridges demanded precision layout to maintain correct spacing while accessing the work from a boom lift. The judges were suitably impressed with Thomas's execution in the face of working at multiple locations, difficulty in accessing the work, and controlling traffic while keeping things flowing, and the work crew safe. Outstanding work by Thomas Industrial Coatings. Back to drywall now, but this time for our taping awards, where TJ Weiss snatches first place for its fantastic finishing at the Museum of Westward Expansion at the Gateway Arch. Judges were particularly impressed with the level of difficulty in flawlessly finishing freestanding exhibits, downlighted displays featuring a level 5 finish, and a multitude of curvilinear surfaces under critical lighting. TJ's tapers were more than up to the task as they formed multiple layers of gypsum board to exacting standards to meet the rigors of the design. Even a specially formulated joint compound was used on the concrete ceiling in the main entry to help minimize the effects of direct upward lighting. Part of the National Park Service's $380 million Arch Grounds renovation project, the newly redesigned entrance, which faces downtown, and the museum will greet millions of visitors to the city's most popular attraction. If those visitors look closely, they'll see remarkable skill and craftsmanship on display from TJ Weiss. Second place in drywall finishing goes to TJ Weiss for its wonderful work at Rankin Jordan Pediatric Hospital. The rule in drywall finishing, where curves intersecting angles and critical lighting are featured, it can never be good enough. It has to be better. And that's the conclusion the judges reached in their assessment of the work by TJ's tapers. It's better. It's better because it far exceeds good. Edges are crisper, details are clearly defined, transitions flow more fluidly. When the execution matches the design, everything is better. This hospital for children is a pretty sobering place, but it doesn't have to be somber. The caring, good work that's being done at Rankin Jordan is reflected in this new building. It has a bright, airy feeling, one that TJ Weiss is proud to have been part. And we're proud to recognize those achievements. Shifting to residential drywall framing and installation, we find that John Bender Incorporated picks up first place for its very nice work at this residence in Kirkwood. Bender's carpenters had to call on all of their expertise during this installation. The house features an abundance of architectural elements including, but not limited to, arches, barrel vaults, tray ceilings, splayed angles, dormers, soffits, fascias, and gabled ceilings. In all, more than 37,000 square feet of gypsum board products were installed in this residence in a professional and workmanlike manner. The end result is a more than satisfied builder and homeowner. John Bender Incorporated hit the mark time and again to produce a beautiful and functional example of the designer's vision brought to life. Well done indeed, John Bender. Let's turn our attention to the industrial segment of the painting industry now and discover that Coatings Unlimited claims the blue ribbon for its execution of the renovation of the Upper St. Anthony Falls Lock and Dam in Minneapolis. Coatings Unlimited was charged with de-leading the lock gates using a 4-part vinyl coating that's highly corrosion resistant and able to withstand impact from ice and other floating debris. The project required full containment with the use of negative air, a decontamination trailer, and industrial vacuum recovery of spent abrasive media. Garnet abrasive was used to minimize dust and to give workers maximum visibility inside the containment. The judges were particularly impressed with the high level of difficulty of the project, and if it wasn't hard enough, well, 20% more work was added as the project progressed, without an extension in the schedule. Delivered on time and within budget, Coatings Unlimited once again demonstrated to the Corps of Engineers that it pays to use the best. Congratulations, Coatings Unlimited. Thomas Industrial Coatings picks up second place in this category for its renovation of the 4th Street covered pedestrian bridge over the Cedar River in Waterloo, Iowa. The bridge, which is a focal point in downtown Waterloo, was in pretty bad shape after years of neglect. Thomas Industrial rode to the rescue by completely removing all corrosion and existing coatings on the canopy and windows and all the graffiti from the concrete walkway. Working within a tight time frame, Thomas Industrial used all of its experience to minimize traffic disruptions, access all parts of the bridge, and produce the desired effect as scheduled and expected. Well done. Our third place winner in industrial painting goes to Thomas Industrial Coatings for its renovation of the Douglas Avenue Railroad Bridge in Wichita, Kansas. Planning and coordination were the rules of the day to ensure success on this project, as Douglas Avenue is one of the main east-west thoroughfares in the downtown area. The rail bridge, a combination of concrete and steel, was seriously corroded and deteriorated. Thomas Industrial brought its skill and creativity to bear on this project and exponentially expanded the life expectancy of this iconic bridge in Wichita. Bazan Painting secures the gold medal in special effects and faux finishes with its artistic faux gold leaf dining room ceiling at the Wilson Residence in Ladue. Bazan was challenged by the owners to replicate a gold leaf ceiling that they found in a photograph. Given the size of the barrel ceiling, 28 feet long by 20 feet wide, Bazan knew that gold leaf was a budget buster. So they proposed using conventional coatings to produce a faux gold leaf finish that was actually affordable. The undertaking began with the application of 2 coats of safety yellow as the base, followed by pounce painting with 2 different types of acrylic metallic gold in 3 coats to achieve the desired effect. The walls were then given 3 coats of a deep, rich red to ensure coverage and hide. Then the white wood trim was glazed using a standard dark walnut wood graining to complete the transformation. Completed in 72 man-hours, 44 of which were consumed by the ceiling treatments, Bazan Painting produced a one-of-a-kind faux gold leaf ceiling and a completely satisfied owner. Bravo, Bazan! We've arrived at our last category of the evening now, and in keeping with tradition, we'll reverse the order of the winners in interior commercial painting. Third place in the category goes to Paintsmiths of St. Louis for its restoration work at the Soldiers Memorial downtown. Paintsmiths of St. Louis was charged with coating the interiors of the new fountains outside the building, restoring all existing wood finishes inside, replicating the original decorative paintwork on the first floor ceiling, and finishing the walls, ceilings, and floors in the rest of the building. Almost 2,300 man-hours of labor went into the restoration of this museum and event space that originally opened in 1938. It will reopen to the public this Veterans Day. Nice work indeed, Paintsmiths of St. Louis. Second place in interior commercial painting is picked up by Runge Painting for its renovation assignment at this unidentified 26-story office building somewhere in St. Louis. Runge's paint crew took on a building that sat vacant and unheated for several years, and that meant dealing with damaged painted and drywalled surfaces throughout. After repair and prep, new coatings were applied to offices, restrooms, meeting areas, hallways, and lobbies. The large multi-purpose room on the 14th floor features a 21-foot ceiling height that was concealed by a drop ceiling. Runge's painters restored several ornamental plaster plaques that were discovered above the lay-in ceiling. Other areas feature a decorative curved wall and freestanding murals featuring scenes of St. Louis. 22 paint colors were used on walls, moldings, chair rail, and trim. Epoxy floors were installed in mechanical rooms, and a pedestrian bridge was completely refinished. Very nice work indeed by Runge Painting. Our final award this year is claimed by Bazan Painting for its really nice coatings treatment at St. Pius V Catholic Church on South Grand. St. Pius measures 125 feet long by 65 feet wide by 50 feet high, so this was no small undertaking. The work occurred between August 2017 and February 2018 and employed between 2 and 6 painters per day. At the end of each work week, the church was cleaned and straightened in advance of weekend masses and special events like weddings, Christmas services, and the like. Work on the church included lead abatement, surface repair and prep as required, and finally the application of new coatings to finish the renovation according to the design palette. In addition to the various paint applications, skillful layout of the stencils to be used in the St. Pius Sanctuary was a high priority. Paintwork also was performed in the entry foyer, stairwells, and balcony. The completed St. Pius V is a worthy representation of the fine work performed by Bazan Painting. Well, that's our program. As always, thank you to our contracting community, whose skill and reputation is recognized far beyond the St. Louis metropolitan area. Thank you also to the trade members of Painters District Council number 58 and the Carpenters District Council of St. Louis and Kansas City. Your organizations stand among the elite in this country. And thank you to our supplier members for your support, service, and assistance. It's truly appreciated. And now for the presentation of our awards, Mr. Tom Finan of the St. Louis Construction Industry Forum.